The timeouts that Kirk took at the end of the first half when I was on offense, when Haylarge got that the fullback / tight end carry on the 3rd and short, and he got the first down. There were 2 timeouts that Iowa took on right after that play, and then after the 2nd down run that went for basically no gain, I think. And I remember the CBS announcers got confused because they thought Iowa State had called the timeouts because it would make sense because Iowa State needs time on their last possession, but yet Iowa was using them and then gave Iowa State time for that last possession to even happen. Now, it didn't matter because obviously the kicker doinked the field goal, so it didn't matter at the end of the day. But that last possession should have had very little time at all for Iowa State on that final possession at the end of the first half. That was one really bad error, I thought, by Iowa.
Well, I time out with some time still on the play clock.
Yeah, exactly.
100% agree with you, caller. Because I didn't realize that. I thought Iowa State called those timeouts. I actually made the comment to someone I was listening to, watching the game with. I said, that's a good call if you're Iowa State, because Iowa's at the goal line. They can take their time here with a minute to go. And, so for Iowa to call a timeout makes no sense at all.
I thought it was Iowa State, and I double-checked the play-by-play as it was happening because I know Chad Lysakow pointed it out on Twitter saying Iowa called the timeout, and he confirmed it as well.
So real quick, just run through this. People realize what we're talking about.
Yep.
Iowa gets down, 1:35 to go, Don. They run Hayden Large for 2 yards for a first down. By the way, people don't realize clock stops in college on first downs. 1:33, 1st and 10 at the ISU 3, Don.
Okay.
Timeout, Iowa.
Doesn't make sense because, well, first off, if we were about to run out of time before we run out of downs, we could take a timeout on 2nd and 3rd down.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're going to call a timeout in that situation, like from a schematic standpoint, then you would let some time run off the clock first, because calling a timeout in that situation with a minute and a half is actually helping Iowa State. But that's not what they were doing. They were clearly.
The timeout was actually taken early?
Hold on. They were trying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had the first down with Hayden Large with 1:35, and they called the timeout with 1:33.
Right.
Then with 1:30, Cade McNamara passing complete, 2nd and goal at the 3. LaShawn Williams runs no gain, timeout Iowa with 1:21 to go on 3rd and goal.
Exactly.
We're lucky it didn't bite us at the end of the half because they were in field goal range, right?
Who is giving the advice to the head coach on going for 2, on calling timeouts? I have been complaining about game and clock management with this program for years, and it does not get better, Don.
I would say this. At UConn, Bob Diaco was our head coach, former player. Yep. I gave Bobby his first job at Western Illinois, and he told me, he said, "You're my assistant head coach, and I want you, anytime there's any issue at all with the clock, you're the guy that's going to tell me when to take the timeouts, because I know I can trust you to crunch the numbers better than anybody else." We never had any issues with clock management. The year after I retired, they got fired in large part because they blew it against Navy. It was a horrible clock management thing at the end of the half, end of the game, and they ended up getting fired over it. And frankly, they deserved to get fired because they basically shot themselves in the foot.
Don, what I don't understand, I understand the controversial stuff, the 50-50 stuff, whatever. I'm just going to be like, okay, they disagree with me, fine. But
some of them are indefensible, though.
I'm trying to figure out how this is defensible. I'm trying to figure out why on 3rd and goal at the Iowa State 3 with 1:21, even if you run a pass play with 1 on the clock, you still have 30 seconds left in the half for 4th down.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you calling a timeout?
And
that's just stupid. There's another way to. It's stupid. I don't know how else to describe that.
And I'll just say this, Iowa State has not exactly been a great program under Matt Campbell in the sense of winning one possession games. And Matt Campbell's had his own clock management issues for sure. But honestly, Iowa just hand gifted him that possession at the end of the half. They quite frankly just did.
I'm so glad you called in because I didn't, like I say, I'm pretty sure CBS said that Iowa State called the timeouts.
They did to start. Yes, they did. Yeah, exactly.
They just assumed that was to stop the clock.
Exactly.
Even the people who were controlling the CBS cast knew that there's no way a reasonable offense would call the timeout in that situation. That is incredible. That is incredible ability to screw something up late in the half. That is incredible. And I tell you what, I'm not there each and every week, but there are times during the season where I wish I could be there for press conferences, because that's something that I think has to be asked. You've got to ask the head coach, why? Let me run through these plays, coach.
Yeah.
Why are you explain the logic to me? I just want someone to explain it to me. I'm not asking you a gotcha. I'm not asking you a gotcha question. I just want you to explain the logic behind your behavior. That's all I want. Just explain the logic. Oh my goodness. Anyways, anything else, Colin?
No, that was pretty much it. Thank you guys, and appreciate having me on.
You're very observant.
Rest your night.
Thanks. Appreciate the phone call. Good stuff. Jim, Hawkeye marching band dominated the Cyclone band today. Don, I think somebody earlier today, I'm kind of taking this comment and going to something else. Someone earlier today said they wanted to see me lose it. And I think it took 4 hours, but I've lost.
You finally did.
I figured out a way to lose it, okay? I appreciate that calling. That's it. You know, Don, you know me well enough to know those are the things that drive me absolutely nuts.
Right. Because they're preventable.
Wow. I'm in awe when you look at the play-by-play. Go back and watch that, Don. I know you will. Go back and watch it. Tell me that's not incredible.